So my name is Guillermo Polito. She's Rocio Masha, and we will be talking about DBX talk. So first, how many of you know what DBX talk is? Few. Okay. So DBX talk is what we call with Mariano some years ago the relational database suite for Faro. Yeah. So it's composed by many components to talk with relational databases. Now, it started like in 2009, I don't remember, like 5 years ago, as a database driver only. So the guys started with Squeak DBX, and which was a binding to the OpenDBX library. The OpenDBX library was a C library that was a kind of adapter to talk to many other databases. So this gave us one API written in C to talk with Postgres, SQLite, Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, ODBC, blah, blah, blah. So that was cool at the time because from Faro you didn't have many choices. You had the Postgres driver, which was native, written in Smalltalk, and I don't know, there were many other options, but you couldn't talk to Oracle, for example, and all the work was dispersed. So at that time, it was a cool solution. Now, other components, I am not good here, is Glorp. We have a port of Glorp from VisorWorks, which is an ORM. An ORM, if you don't know what it is a library to map the world of objects to the relational databases. So you say, okay, these objects, when you want to save them in my relational database, you have to transform it like this, and you have to do that, and this object goes to this table, and that. Next. Something else we have is Poseidon, which is a kind of scaffolding tools, like the thing that you have in Ruby on Rails. It's pretty immature because people doesn't use it, and well, that doesn't allow us to get it better, and I don't use it at work because I work in something different. But it's there. Anyone can take it and make it better. We have also tools for example, retrieving the database schema from many databases polymorphically. So we have many things implemented to work with relational databases. But it's not as shiny, as good as we really want. Deploying it is a mess. Actually, most of the people doesn't use OpenDBX and DBX talk because it's really difficult to deploy. If you see the mailing list, the discussion in the mailing list are always, how do I install this and how do I compile that? And so people think it's difficult, and it's actually difficult to have for example, if I am the developer for a company, I don't want to care about a lot of little details. I want to throw a SQL query and get the results and show that in a web page. So if I had to spend 3 days to have my development environment ready, that's a loss of time, and we don't like it. So the current architecture of DBX talk, and actually the driver, which is the most important part here, is this. We have Faro. Faro has an FFI library. You know what FFI is? Yes? No? Who doesn't know? Okay. FFI is a library that allows us to call functions from C libraries, typically. So we use FFI through Faro to talk to OpenDBX, call the functions in OpenDBX, which in turn talk to the backend library. So this guy is the only API we know, and this guy will talk to Oracle, to SQL Server, to all of those. But what is the problem here? First, FFI is blocking. That means that every time that we call a function from outside our image, the whole VM gets blocked, and when you want to have a system that is up 7 days, 24 hours, and to handle a lot of requests, it's not so good because, come on, every time I have to do a query, I have my VM blocked for 300 milliseconds, and then all the other people cannot do requests. So, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't scale. Another problem we have is that FFI in Faro right now is 32 bits. Actually, that's a problem we have in the VM in general. What does that mean? That we can only call functions from 32 bits libraries. And that is a problem because all operating systems go 64 bits. So all the libraries, when you download them by default, they are 64 bits. And maybe it's not so easy to install the 32-bit version. It's mostly a problem I have on Mac. When I want to install, for example, the MySQL library in 32 bits, it's a pain. Actually, what I have to do is to download, try to compile it by myself. So, no, please, don't. I don't want to compile FFI, MySQL. And we are using the old FFI that was available. And now we have a kind of replacement, which is NativeBoost. So, and then besides FFI and all the problems it has, we have, and let's say that we want to talk to Oracle. So we have to install Oracle, we have to install the Oracle library, and also we have to install the OpenDBX library, which is another C library we have to install. So every time we want to set up OpenDBX, how many of you tried to install this? 1, 2, 3. So Nico, how is it? Okay, yes, because you have to start compiling this, and then I have to configure, and I have to resolve this and compile that, and oh, fuck, I don't have this library, so I have to install it. And the resolutions in Mac OS X of C libraries is like this, and in Unix is like that, so it's different. So you have to think about that when you deploy your libraries. And in Windows, it's also different. So every time that you add a different library written in C, you have to think about a lot of stuff, about a lot of details of deployment. And, I want to kill myself. Come on. Before coming here, I spent 1 week just to set up the fucking whole environment for Windows to install Oracle, MySQL, Postgres. 1 week with that, and I have this problem with compiling this, and then I have to download the MinGW, and it doesn't have this library, so I need to download the other version. So no, it doesn't work. So we can do better. That's because we are small talkers. That's what we always say. So one of the things we want to do right now, it's in the plan. We are working on it. Is moving code to Faro. The most code we will move it to Faro. We are moving it to Faro. We are trying to go NativeBoost. Who of you know what who doesn't know what NativeBoost is? Okay. So NativeBoost is a library for Faro to generate machine code on the fly. That means that from Faro, actually, you can throw assembler and do whatever you want, machine code in general. So, don't pass the slide. No, get. Okay. So, now it was okay. But, so, we want to use NativeBoost. And then there are also some some work already done. Some drivers that are fully implemented in Smalltalk. So, and they don't have the problem of FFI. So they don't block the VM, they don't have the problem of 32 bits. So why are all these drivers scattered around and we are not using them? Actually, people, instead of using DBX Talk, they are using this driver or that driver, but maybe they cannot use Glorp because the API of these drivers are not compatible with the one of Glorp, so it's a mess. And these are drivers that are available, that are open source, and come on, God invented polymorphism for something, so let's use it. Let's go polymorphism and try to use this that we have available. So what we want to do, and what we are working on right now, is to avoid using extra libraries. So actually that means trying not to use OpenDBX when we can avoid it, because deploying it is a mess. We don't want to deal with that. We don't want the developer that actually wants only to throw a query to deal with that. We will use native boost FFI, so an implementation of FFI written in native boost, which is the current FFI implementation we have in Faro. We will use it only when we can't use the smalltalk native drivers. So every time we have a driver that is written completely in smalltalk, we will use it. Come on, and we will make it polymorphic with all the others. And then, for example, for Oracle, that actually they don't have an open protocol and we cannot talk to it from Smalltalk directly, we will, write a complete driver talking directly to the Oracle library instead of using OpenDBX. So here is where Steph told me in March or something like that, why don't we do a Google Summer of Code about DBX talk, trying to do something around that? Yes. So, I started moving around and saying, who wants to do something around this? And there's where Rocio came and she started to implement some things to attack the deploy burden. So we want to kill it, yes, to make it easy for you. So she started with this. Okay. Okay. Sí, you're right. Oops. Yeah. Come on.
Okay. Hi. This year I participate on the Google Summer of Code program, and in this project the main idea was to remove the FFI bindings and maximize amount of Faro code. Okay.
Yep.
We decided to resolve this, use native boost FFI and talk FFI. Native boost FFI is a new implementation of FFI bindings for Faro. And decided to use talk FFI because enable the automatic FFI generation for native boost. And this is great because write the bindings by hand is a lot of work, and to make it easier to make mistakes, more to me. Así que. Next. Okay. For first step, I use talk FFI to generate the binding of OpenDBX, and with this we have a background compatible for people those who still use OpenDBX and use a native boost FFI. And the test is still be green with the new implementation. Now I am working in the Oracle driver, and the plan is to make a driver polymorphic with the other drivers and remove and you don't need to use OpenDBX to use Oracle database. No sé qué más.
Próximo. Ok. ¿Quieres complicar? Okay. So, between all the plans that I am doing from the dark side, one of the things, since I spent 1 week compiling everything for Windows, actually the problem is not also that. The problem is that, for example, if you go to the OpenDBX site, where you should download the library you already compiled and blah for your operating system, for the database you want to connect to, the latest version, which has a lot of bug fixes we did, is the 1.4.6. But the guy has only the binaries available for 1.4.5, which is the previous version. So every time somebody asks for an ODBC version that works of the library, I have to search in my emails, or I don't know, or compile it myself, and okay, here you have. And it's a mess, and I already sent no, solo. Where was I? So yes, I send the libraries to the guy, and it moves slow. It's open source, so every time everyone has its own time, and it's a lot of pain. So I started to move myself to make the OpenDBX mess a little messy. So we are going to automatize the most we can. So following that, we are going to have a continuous integration server to build OpenDBX, to build and test Glorp, DBX Talk, all the native drivers that we have available around there. I already have 2 weeks ago, I started to create the server with the in-ray infrastructure. Yesterday, it went online, and now I should start to create all the jobs. But we are on the way. So our idea is to get this into continuous integration, because actually we have more than 100 tests for the driver only. So, but the nice thing is that these tests are independent from the database library from the vendor. So we want to build, we want to have polymorphic drivers with all the other smalltalk driver implementations, because we can reuse these tests with all the other drivers. Why not? So, and the same thing happens with Glorp. We have almost 900 tests for Glorp for testing the ORM, and people doesn't use Glorp because they cannot use it with the MySQL smalltalk driver that is available, because it's not polymorphic. And no, I don't know how many of them use Postgres v2 or Postgres v3, but if you can reuse these tests with all the other infrastructure that is around, come on, we are testing for free a lot of things. So we want to do that, and we want to build every single day OpenDBX, the libraries in C. We want to build the smalltalk part of it. We want to build Glorp. We want to build Poseidon. I don't want to do it by hand anymore because I am already tired. But for that, we need you to use it, because if you don't come with feedback, or if you don't use it, come on, we will do it for nothing. So it's good if you use it, and at least it gives me a motivation to do it. And if you want to contribute, that's also very cool, because we are very few people working on this, and we do it for free, of course. And we need people to come and help. There's a lot of people that uses relational databases around there, and I am not using them, so I am actually maintaining something that I don't use. That's difficult, because you don't realize when things get broken or stuff like that. So if people uses it and tells us, that's kind of better. So this was a kind of update of what we are doing, what's going on with DBX Talk this year. Thank you. So, questions?
Yes, we have a few minutes for questions.
Yeah, we have 2 minutes. Okay. If we don't have questions, I have one slide more. So, I have an announcement. With the guys that had the UGBAR t-shirt, maybe you have seen them, with this logo, with fancy logo. We are organizing a workshop on November 16 in Universidad Nacional de San Martín, around Buenos Aires, provincia de Buenos Aires. So there is a link. The idea is to have an event with talks. It will not be Smalltalk specific, but if we have a Smalltalk presence, that would be good. So it's free. You can participate by free. You can actually today is kind of the deadline for proposing talks, but maybe if you have something interesting, we can talk about it. So nothing. Come, please. We want people. And that's it. Thank you.